Blac Chyna held me hostage, and I'm pretty sure she was trying to sex traffic me. Right after I signed the NDA is when Chyna very intimidatingly said, "All the stories you read about me kidnapping people are true." I'm scared to be doing this right now, but if I bring awareness to this, it could save the next person from this trauma.
This isn't the first time that Blac Chyna has been accused of holding someone hostage. There are several different women who have come out and accused Blac Chyna of trying to human traffic them. There's definitely something sketchy going on here, so let's get into it. It looks like Blac Chyna has a problem when it comes to holding people hostage. Rob Kardashian's baby mama is being accused of sex trafficking people, and it's not her first time. Human trafficking is a huge problem all over the world, and it's also a problem in Hollywood because an OnlyFans collaboration can turn into a hostage situation. There is an influencer named Ava Louise, and she's accusing Blac Chyna of trying to hold her hostage.
Blac Chyna held me hostage, and I'm pretty sure she was trying to sex traffic me. This is the only time in my life I've ever felt real fear, and it is the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. I finally feel safe enough to share the story because this happened back on August 10th.
She's got close to 500,000 followers on Instagram, and her bio reads problematic, which Ava is very problematic.
I'm skinny, I'm winning, and all you bitches are ugly.
So there's a clip from one of Ava's songs, and she has been in the media a lot during her social media career because she likes to stir the pot. And it turns out that Blac Chyna is using this to her advantage because they are calling out that Ava just isn't credible. She has caused so much chaos in the Kardashian realm. For example, she started the rumors that Kanye West was hooking up with Jeffree Star.
Now, a lot of people want to say, "Oh, Ava, you make up so much stuff, you're lying." I've never made up anything except for the Jeffree Kanye rumor, and that happened 2 years ago, and that was a total joke. And that whole joke kind of gave me such a big platform that I'm able to meet people like Blac Chyna now.
You guys know Jeffree ate that up, but I actually don't believe that Kanye and Jeffree were ever a thing. Ava's also been credited with starting the toilet seat challenge, where she was like in a plane and licked the toilet seat, or maybe she was in the airport and she licked the toilet seat and started a social media challenge with that. Of course, nobody followed through with it, but it gave her a lot of attention. And it does look like she targets the Kardashians. I mean, they are a super famous family, and she actually claimed that Kris Jenner sent her a cease and desist after she started making allegations about Kim and Kanye. Kris never actually sent Ava a cease and desist, and Ava just created this story. So can we trust her? I don't know, but Blac Chyna is scary and problematic, and she's been accused of doing exactly what Ava is accusing her of before. Of course, Blac Chyna is denying everything, but Ava Louise claims that she was potentially kidnapped to be sex trafficked by Blac Chyna and her people.
For everyone thinking that I'm lying, this is a screenshot I posted in part 2, and my location wasn't 100% accurate. But this is a second screenshot my friend took of my location, when I was texting him, scared because I was getting trafficked. And look at the house, I was in the guest part of the house. Take a good look at that and compare it to Blac Chyna's house. I was in her house. How could I fake that?
So let's break down Ava's accusations and some moments from Blac Chyna's past. So she shared this story on TikTok, which I will be playing clips from that video, but she shows that she initially reached out to Blac Chyna to collab on OnlyFans, and they ended up hanging out shortly after. It does seem a little bit shady that Ava initially started this conversation, but Blac Chyna followed through and followed her on social media, and they became friendly with each other.
I don't have time to go into the details, but Chyna and I met on Instagram. As you can see, we were DMing. I ended up sending her my number. She FaceTimed me at 3 a.m. LA time. My best friend, Alex Marker, was on the FaceTime call as well. As you can see, Blac Chyna follows my best friend, Alex Marker, on Instagram. So while Chyna was FaceTiming with me and Alex, she invited me over to her house at 4 a.m.
I'm not entirely sure how OnlyFans collaborations work. I mean, maybe 4 a.m. is a normal time, but I noticed that Ava reached out to Blac Chyna in June. Then she asked for Ava's number in August, so I would assume that this happened back in August.
In hindsight, going to Blac Chyna's house at 4 a.m. was probably stupid, but I'm me. I love a good adventure, and come on, who's gonna turn down going to Blac Chyna's house and meeting Dream Kardashian? Long story short, I get there, I have to sign an NDA, but this NDA was unlike any other NDA I've ever signed in my life.
So I guess when it comes to the Kardashians, signing an NDA is typical, but this NDA does sound really weird. As she describes it, I can't help but to think that it sounds like a application to be trafficked.
I had to put down all kinds of identifying features about myself on this NDA, like my eye color, my hair color, my height, what I was wearing. I was like, okay, this is really strange. Right after I signed the NDA is when Chyna very intimidatingly said, all the stories you read about me kidnapping people are true.
This doesn't even sound real. I mean, why would Blac Chyna just spit that out to Ava? And there is a history of Blac Chyna being accused of kidnapping people. There was a situation where this woman was being held in this hotel room, and there's video footage of them holding on to her, trying to keep her back as her friend is rescuing her.
Come on, Jen, let's go. No, we're not standing nowhere, we're leaving. Whatever, my. It's not your fault. It's not you. You didn't do this, she did this. I'm not going in there. I wanted to kick the door in.
So clearly that woman is super distressed, and I don't know if you saw, but Blac Chyna was there wearing all white in the room with a bunch of different guys. I mean, if someone doesn't want to be there, then why hold them hostage? I mean, that just sounds like a terrible vibe. If someone doesn't want to be over or doesn't want to hang out, then go home. But she ended up becoming under investigation for being accused of holding this woman hostage. This was about a year ago, so not even a year yet, and she was at a hotel room, and they invited a ton of friends for a party in her room. This guy claims that Chyna suddenly became aggressive towards his friend, I'm assuming the woman who's in that video. The vibe immediately changed, so at that point we thought it was best to leave, but when I went to walk out, she shut the door behind me and kept my friend in the room.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Ron. I'm so sorry.
It's not you, Jennifer. It's not your fault. I'm sorry you experienced that, baby. I'm so sorry. You did nothing wrong. She tried to tell us all to shut up and she's gonna kick everybody's ass. I said, you ain't kicking nobody. You're not gonna disrespect me. And then you kept my friend in the room.
So she's clearly upset, and we don't even really know what Blac Chyna said to her or did to her when she was alone in that room. But of course, Blac Chyna denies everything. She's got this lawyer who works with her pretty often, and it seems like she's kind of a sketchy lawyer in my opinion, but they claim that this story is false and that these are all false accusations, but the video doesn't lie, and clearly this woman was really upset. It does seem like Blac Chyna hangs out with some sketchy people, so if she was involved in some Hollywood, human trafficking, situation, I personally would not be surprised.
Now, I've never seen any stories about Chyna kidnapping people. I read them after this happened to me. I got a gut feeling I was in danger, but there was nothing I could do because I was in a gated home.
The way she's telling the story does seem a little unauthentic just in the speech pattern. It's very maybe she's just trying to get it all out because it's TikTok, but it seems very unemotional.
I couldn't unlock the gate and get out. This is the only photo I have from inside Chyna's house. It was in her guest house, like a sign.
So we need to break down this photo because it's the only evidence that Ava has. And it looks like it's a rules guide for being in her home. It reads, please be mindful and respect of Chyna's beautiful guest house. This is not a hotel. Clean up after yourself. Don't leave wet towels on the floor. Leave used towels in main house located in laundry room. The English is so bad in this that I'm slowly reading it wait, who wrote this? Did Dream Kardashian type this up? Please turn off lights when done. Do not light candles ever. Please throw away trash and food at all times that you bring in. Literally, who wrote this? Trash located outside. Clean up after yourself. Smoking ashes. Please do not turn on AC unless instructed by Chyna. Oh my god, is this guest house hot? I need my AC to be blasting at all times. There was also a note about going live on social media to ask Blac Chyna for permission, which I honestly, those rules aren't too bad. it's a celebrity's house. She clearly has a lot of crazy parties with sketchy people, so she probably does need a couple rules, like keep it all together.
My phone was on 3% and she wouldn't let me charge it, so there was really nothing I could do. I was really screwed. For 6 hours, Chyna held me hostage. She drank an entire bottle of Casamigos in front of me. She like wouldn't let me be alone. Every time she had to use the bathroom, she would make me go into the bathroom with her. She took shits in front of me. She forced me to take a wet towel and wipe off all of my makeup. She was doing weird things all night, like comparing our hand sizes and trying on my shoes. She kept telling me that I had to stay until 10 a.m. because that's when Dream was going to be out of the home, and she was going to go crazy on me at 10 a.m. She kept saying things like that.
Red flag right there. I mean, she's gonna go crazy on you at 10 a.m. And plus, where's this kid? Like, what's the kid doing during this time? Like, why is Blac Chyna like having these random people over to her house whenever their child's there? I'm sure Rob Kardashian would not like this. But maybe she meant like go crazy as in like the OnlyFans collab. Like maybe they're about to like really like knock it out of the park. So far, she says that she was held hostage, but we don't really understand, I guess, the extent of like were your keys taken away? Like, were you not able to leave at all? But here's the end of her story that she shared on TikTok that she quickly deleted.
I really didn't know what was going on. She kept saying things like, I'll be honest with you about what's going on here once you're honest with me. At about 9:45 a.m., Chyna FaceTimed some woman named Donna, who told me she was in the escorting industry on FaceTime, and told me that I was good product. Chyna and her were going back and forth about me. They were under the impression that I was transgender. I am a cisgender female. I don't know how Chyna got that impression. Now, I wasn't supposed to hear this phone call with Donna at all. But for context, Chyna had drank an entire bottle of Casamigos in the 6 hours I was in her home. Like, fully downed the entire bottle, and she was blackout drunk, and she was, like, playing Nickelback music videos on repeat. So she was so drunk, she, like, answered this FaceTime in front of me. Donna wasn't happy about this, and Donna was like, well, is she trans? Is she trans? Like, asking. That's when the phone was handed to me, and Donna was like, well, I'm just gonna ask you myself, are you trans? I told her, no, I'm cisgender, I can prove it, I'm literally on my period right now, like, what do I have to do to tell you I'm not trans? She, for some reason, wasn't buying it. She's like, I trust my cis Chyna, she says you are. And then we were all going back and forth. My phone's at, like, 2% at this point. I didn't know what to do, and Donna said she was going to come after 10 a.m. when Dream was out of the house, and she was gonna come check me out herself. So I knew I was screwed.
And that's the end of it. Ava claims that she was going to be pimped out by this woman who Blac Chyna called up, but we don't really know much more about the story. I mean, she claims that she was held hostage during this time, but again, we don't know how she was held hostage. I kind of believe Ava here, but Blac Chyna is denying everything, of course, and calling these allegations false, extreme, and outrageous.
The guy I was staying with immediately called me, and he's like, run. Chyna's grabbing at my phone. I'm staying on the phone with him. I know my phone's about to die, and I ran. I ran out of the house, and I ran to the gate, and I hopped over the gate, threw myself over that gate with everything left in me, and I ran down the street, and I hid behind a bush. And then the guy I was staying with was able to help me, like, get home.
But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I do feel like Ava could have gone through something like this, but at the same time, she's not the most credible. I would be interested in having her on my podcast if she wants to come on and speak about some stories that she has in Hollywood. I saw she went on to like Def Noodle's like show or something, and I don't know why people won't come on mine. I mean, nobody replies to my DMs. But anyways, I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Does Blac Chyna seem sketchy to you? Because she seems sketchy to me, and I feel like whenever she does get busted for whatever's going on here, it's going to be a huge like R. Kelly situation. So leave your thoughts below, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.
I'm just going to come out and I'm going to share with you guys all why I decided to come out with this story. Last time I was in LA, I was introduced to a girl who was in a very similar situation as me. Someone with more power and influence than her, she was just like an Instagram model, invited her over and was offering help in the industry. She went and she ended up getting brutally assaulted, and I want to make this clear that this girl was the perfect victim. She did everything right. She went to the police, she filed reports, she did everything she could. And then when she came forward with her story and spoke about it on Instagram, the guy who did this to her got her Instagram deleted. But before she got her Instagram deleted, so many girls came forward and told her that the same thing happened to them. And she told me specifically that if she had known that this stuff was happening, she never would have gone over to his house. Her life got like ruined because she wasn't aware of the dangerous situation she was getting herself into. She was naive. I didn't take my videos down because I was scared of being sued. I took my videos down because someone Chyna was associated with sent me this threat to deplatform me if I kept telling my story. Now, I can understand how to you guys that's not really a big deal, but it's a huge deal to someone like me whose main source of income comes from my Instagram. It could literally ruin my entire life, like having that taken away. I have contacts at Meta, so I emailed them everything and they've been made fully aware and they are looking into it. To me, innocent people don't try and take away someone's livelihood, but that's exactly what happened to my friend. Deplatforming someone, scaring them into silence, sending them legal letters and stuff is like a way to get people to shut up so they can continue whatever behavior they're doing. If I had seen this story, I never would have gone to her house. I never would have traumatized myself. And I'm really lucky, I think, based off of my perception of the events, that I got out. But I didn't see this story. There wasn't enough awareness around it. So I ended up in what I perceived to be a very dangerous situation. I'm not sharing my story for follows. I'm not sharing my story for clout. I'm sharing this because whether you believe me or not, I'm hoping it puts some doubt in people's heads before they put themselves in a similar situation. This was to the trafficking hotline. I could have came out months ago, but I was just too scared. I decided to be brave after hearing my friend's story. I was so terrified after this happened, like I couldn't even hang out with Monty Lopez. I was getting anxiety attacks around anyone famous. Like when I was hanging out with Monty, I was texting my friends and begging them to just come pick me up because not that Monty was doing anything wrong, I was just so anxious. I'm scared to be doing this right now, but if I bring awareness to this, it could save the next person from this trauma.